And what we...
In other words, you are flushing it on Ondo State.
No, yes, but that is the question that we are going to answer now.
Okay.
So we are already going to do the same thing. And I believe the best way to go about it is not flushing them back, is to capture them, okay, and deal with them and make sure that they don't come back again. So I have the plan to collaborate with Ondo State, okay, and not only Ondo State, Kogi State, okay, because we all know that Ondo is a very peaceful state. Criminality is here in this state is at its lowest ebb, and when you have some states like Edo and Kogi bordering us, there is no way you will not be having some kind of issues like this, whereby some of them migrate from the other state to Ondo. There is no state that would not experience such when you have boundary with some critical states like Edo and Kogi. So that is the reason. But basically, we have the plan that at least the police is trying its best. If not that, we will have been having them encroaching into even Akure. But by the grace of God, we've been able to deal with such because the structure in Akure is very solid. Yes.
The structure in Akure is very solid. What happens to the structure in Owo? What happens to the structure in Ikare? What happens to the structure in Ifon? What happens to the structure in Elegbeka? And so many other places?
Like I told you.
I know there are DPOs everywhere.
Yes.
What's happening?
Well, I must confess to you that they are trying their best. The DPO in Ifon, Ipele, and all the other places within the axis are trying their best. If not for the best, which they have been trying, which I believe that we are born to place them at a level in which the best that they have done will not be good enough for me. So they have their structure there. The area commander is there. We have tactical teams there. Most of the time, we have been sending tactical teams to that area. So, but if not for the measures that we have taken, the situation will have been worse than we've been.
The question then remains: how tactical are these tactical teams?
Well, you know, there was a time we were having a serious cases of what do you call it, courtesan and killings in our axis, and the same tactical team that were deployed there were able to flush out cultists from that area. So the same way we flush cultists out, that's the same way we are going to flush. What's
the timeline? CPR shall be. What's the timeline? If you are saying you will flush them out, you are saying you will deal with them. If you are saying you will make the state uninhabitable for them, when will that happen? The people of Ondo State are really eager to be able to sleep with their two eyes closed.
Yes, the time is now. We don't have any time. The time is now. Like, I want you to understand that isolated cases of kidnapping should not be something that should lead us to raising alarm. Even though we are not happy that we record such cases occasionally.
But there are times they say that there will be one case that's too many. For instance, roughly 20 choristers were abducted by these criminal elements. So you might say it's an isolated case, but it's one case too many, if you agree with me. A monarch was killed right in that spot too. That's one case too many.
One case too many. The monarch was killed about 3 years ago. Then this one is happening now. Maybe you are not even aware that we were able to rescue about 8 of them within the space of hours. So then the remaining people were rescued subsequently. So, but you know, by and large, I think there's a lot that the state, people of the state can do in order to support.
The remaining abductees were rescued?
They have been rescued.
Or they paid ransom?
And they have been reunited.
Did they pay ransom?
As far as I'm concerned, I'm not aware of any ransom being paid.
Okay, so the police rescued them?
They were rescued, and they have been reunited with their people.
In the process of rescuing them, according to you, were you able to also pinpoint the modus operandi of these criminal elements in such a way that you'll be able to prevent a recurrence of this kind of a crime in that axis?
We know their modus operandi. they are doing this, police will not be everywhere. So, but the people, that's the reason why I'm telling you that we have to work in synergy with the people. Some of these things happen in the full glare of some of the people in the localities. So some of them will not be able to give us information at the time that we require it. And before the information is gotten, is received by us, some of those things have been done. So we now have to go about looking for ways of rescuing them. So, but I want to tell you, and the people of Ondo State, that we are going after them.
So there is an assurance that you will get those who
as
are
I'm speaking to you now, we have some kidnap suspects in our custody.
Connected to the phone case?
Not really with the phone, but with other ones.
Okay.
So, and with those people, it's very likely that some of them may be connected, but investigation will have to prove that.
CPS Shabi, let's talk about interagency collaboration. For me, there's no way you use one hand to clap. There must be the coming together of both hands. How well do you intend to enhance the interagency collaboration among security agencies in Ondo State to be able to enhance the security architecture of the state?
We are on it. Collaboration with other security agencies is not an option. It's not an option. That is just the way to go. Because the more we are, the better. You understand? So we are already collaborating with the military. We are collaborating with the Navy. We're collaborating with the NSCDC, Amotekun. Strongly, we are in collaboration with the DSS.
Okay. All
of them are helping us with either intelligence or supporting us in operations. So that is actually, we are enjoying it.
In some places, some have also been having problems with local initiatives at enhancing security. For instance, the time that it was a big issue working with, for instance, the Amotekun Corps, in some other places working with vigilant groups and so on and so forth. Under your work, how do you intend to boost such collaboration with locals so as to also, because intelligence gathering, you agree with me, is not just about sitting in an office. It deals with also going to the grassroots. How do you intend to enhance that?
Doing that, we've been doing that, and through public enlightenment, people are getting to be aware that if you don't help the police, it will be difficult for you to have a secured environment. And most of the security stakeholders in communities, we have given the DPOs the marching order to work with security stakeholders in all their division, in AOR, in their AOR. And DPO have been doing that. We are collaborating with the PCRC, the Untasked Association, and the Vigilante, and all other, even the Road Transport Employees Association, the Okada Riders Association, the Market Women. All these people, when they see things, we made them to understand that whatever they see, before a crime is committed, they should allow the police to know, so that police will quickly nip it in. I think to some extent we have been having some very positive stories from the. Well, we want them to increase the intelligence, because it's better to prevent something than to solve the problem when it has happened. So we are looking at that aspect of policing, intelligence-led policing.
The spokesperson of the Nigerian police in Ondo State is not always comfortable when I say that are the people protected when they come up with information. She always say, look, that was in the past, that now the confidentiality of the people is always guaranteed. Let me hear from you. Under your watch, it's easy to say people should come up with information, but after coming up with the information, what will happen to them?
After coming up with information, they are safe. That's the only thing I believe will happen. The problem is that if you have an information, you should know where to direct information to. Some of the information should not be given to the lowly class police officers on the streets. You have your DPOs in all your in different divisions.
But how accessible are they?
They are very accessible.
Can someone just walk into a police station and say, it's the DPO I want to see?
Yes, even the CP is accessible. The Commissioner of Police is accessible.
You are that accessible?
I am. That's why most of the time my phone is always at the what do you call it? It's always available for anybody to call me at any time.
Okay.
And I receive the call. Some text me, and I react to text almost immediately. So if the CP is accessible, I don't know why the DPO will not be accessible, because that need to work with people. So if those are not open to the people, there is no way we'll be able to work with them. So that's I believe that the DPO, when you have an information, take it to the appropriate quarter.
Let's meet minds. As a person, are you comfortable with the level of deployment of technology by the Nigerian police?
Yeah, not yet comfortable, because I know that there's still we still do. But as I'm speaking to you right now, we are our own level here in Ondo State. We are trying to collaborate with the Nigerian Navy to see how the drones can be deployed in that axis that you are talking about. So very soon that thing will start to work. And while we were trying to rescue the kidnapped victims, we were about to use the drones and the chopper, the helicopter. But fortunately for us, or unfortunately for them, for the kidnappers, we were able to get the headway before deploying those things. So, but I want to assure you that technology is still required to do a lot of things.
Beyond deploying technology to crack an already committed crime, how well do you think that can also be used, honestly speaking, to also prevent crime? Because, for instance, a former commissioner of police, we had an engagement. I was saying, look, it should go beyond open your boots. What do you have there, and all of those things. Detect certain things. For an average police officer on duty, do you have any intention of enhancing the technology deployment of your personnel?
Well, to enhance those things, you will agree with me that it's to employ technology is not something that will be done just with the
capital. It's capital intensive.
Yes, we need something for that. I know that the government is trying its best to ensure that the police continue to work seamlessly, but we still need to be properly positioned in that direction. So, but our men are working around the clock to ensure that whether the technology available is enough or not, we continue to do our job, and we have been doing that.
Now, I don't know if you're aware that there are some marauders who just go around residential areas even when occupants have gone out or they are not observant enough. Some pretend as if they are cat pushers. Perhaps some are really cat pushers, and then they commit all sorts of crime, burgling houses and dispossessing people of their possessions. I don't know if you're aware of this. How well do you think, or how well prepared are you to tackle that?
I'm very much aware that we have some men who go about trying to, within from one community to another, looking for iron and some other things like that. So, but the best way to cope such kind of thing is for people to be vigilant in all their communities. Because while the owners of the house is away, between the hours of 9 o'clock and to 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you see some people pushing trucks, or what do they call it, carts, from one street to the other. And by the time they are moving, the streets are more or less deserted. But you see people in the streets. There's no way that the whole street will be entirely, completely deserted. So those who are still around have a sense of duty to make sure that some of these boys are challenged. And if you notice that you notice any kind of any strange movements. That's the reason why we believe that the DPO should be very much ready to get calls from any community so that he will be able to move swiftly to the community and arrest that kind of person.
Someone was writing the profile of you and put in there that you're a strict disciplinarian. I want to know how disciplinarian or how disciplined you could be when handling your men. And I'm asking this in case there's a DPO that's giving the police a bad name, or an officer, any police officer for that matter, giving the police a bad name. What would you do?
Well, this job is formed on the structure of discipline. Discipline is the bedrock of the police. So this is a job that I've been doing for 30 something. I think I have come to really come to terms with that without enforcing discipline in the rank of the police, we will not be able to, where instruction is passed, it should be obeyed. You understand? So when the CP is there giving instruction to the DPOs, they have no any option than to obey it.
So why do we still have problems of allegations that some are still collecting money for bail, while you even find bail is free on the wall of many police stations, if not all?
I'm not aware that anybody, if that information is brought to me, it will be dealt with accordingly. It will be dealt with accordingly. So if they say bail is free, and everybody saying that bail is free, it's not only the police that is saying it. Even everybody, to the extent that it's even written on the counter. So I don't see any reason why anybody complaining that they are being charged for bail.
Now, CP Ashabi, let's really take a look at some other things because of our time. I understand that the police authority said no to roadblocks, man to roadblocks again, and all of that. It's still resurging. I also find that these roadblocks most times are not just for checking, but also for obtaining. Let me use the language that drivers will say. They said they are obtaining. So how do we deal with these? What is making this to fester?
Well, roadblocks are not available within the Ondo State. There's no place where roadblocks are. Where what you are calling roadblock is stop and search points.
Okay, that's what we should call stop and search points.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and most of the time we situate stop and search points in critical areas, especially like the 4 axis you are talking about. We know we have so many stop and search points in that axis. So as many stop and search points as possible, if we are able to get it, not roadblocks, it will be better for us. So what
about what the officers on duty there
do? What the officers do on that point is to interrogate the driver, search his boots, check his papers to find out whether incriminating things are there or vehicle that does not belong to you is being conveyed. So that is where and you know that we are recording successes on these stop and search points. We have been recording. We have been recovering arms from there. We've been recovering stolen vehicles from there. So we cannot do away with them, at least for this present.
But that does not preclude the fact that yes, there are some officers at stop and search points, as you call them, that just collect bribes, so to say, from motorists.
I don't know if there's any way that such kind of thing will be brought to my knowledge, or where those things are being done. I like to get information. But I know that there are times where even some police officers will just be on the road. Some people will stop and try to offer them money. You understand? So I have made our men to understand that before anything, do your job. Do your job. Whoever is trying to entice you with money should be suspected. It's possible that maybe he has something to hide. So where you see somebody trying to offer money on the road, try and question the person properly and see whether there's anything that is untoward that he's trying to do.
Well, the people of Ondo State will be looking forward to having better deal with the police, especially. But before I let you go, two more things quickly. We say that yes, there's no more SARS now, SWAT, and all of that. But you still find some officers who, yes, they have this overall. Sometimes they even pull it off, and then yet you find people. These are arms-bearing men. Like you tend to be wondering, who are these? What exactly is happening again? Not people in the regular police uniform. What's going on?
The people who are not in regular police uniform are tactical team members of our tactical teams. They are not supposed to wear regular uniform. When you see people on patrol wearing regular uniform, they are attached to the patrol, divisional patrol. But tactical teams officers wear their own kind of dressing.
But are they supposed to keep beards? Are they supposed to look a special way? I don't understand, because you find police officers with long beards and all of that bearing arms.
Yes, as long as they are not wearing uniform. They could be used for detective, operational. So they are more or less operational detectives. So they are more or less the striking arm of the conventional team. So when we discover that a serious challenge is happening somewhere, they are deployed.
But civility is still required of that,
civility, right? Absolutely.
Okay, then. Finally, so that I can let you go. You spent 16 good years on the sport as a police officer. You did hint at that at the Thanksgiving service recently. Did that affect you in any way? Did it dampen your morale? Or could you have even gone beyond being a CP?
Well, it's part of a normal life, and challenges come like that. Challenges go. So that has come and it has gone. It never in any way affected my morale. I've been my best all through the period, and I think I will continue to be my best.
CP Abedo Ashabi is the Commissioner of Police, Ondo State's Commander. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming to State of the State.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, we'll go on a break. When we return, the program continues, still talking security. Please do stay with us, everyone. Still State of the State on this channel. Everyone, thank you so much for still joining me on the program. Now, we move to another level of security, and that's talking about securing our roads. And I'm hosting from the Federal Road Safety Corps, the person in charge of special duties and external relations, FRC. That's Officer Folashade Omokoro. It's nice to have you join me on the program.
Thank you, presenter.
Now, almost every time, once it's September, October, November, December, it's time to bring out the ritualistic Ember Month campaign and all of that. But should that be limited to those 4 months? Is that the only time we should heighten sensitization on safety on our roads?
Federal Road Safety Corps, it's known for its culture of sensitizing the community, the public, and the nation at large concerning the safety on the highways. And it is not only on the Ember Month that we do sensitization. And we believe that every month from September to December is as special as every other month. We want people to forget the myth that during the Ember Month from September to December, there's tendency to be high rate of crashes on our highway.
Now, apart from heightened sensitization during Ember Months, what are the other things that you do to also reduce road crashes during this time? It's not just about saying, yes, let me see your manifest and all those other things. What are the other things you do to reduce these crashes?
We have so many things that we do to reduce the crashes, but one of the things we major on is sensitization, which is public education. And knowledge is power, information is power. We do sensitization to the marketplace, the churches, the institutions, on radio like we're doing, on television, on news media, text messages, WhatsApp, Twitter, and name it, anything that has to do with communication and information technology. We are there. And we want people to know that when it comes to Ember Month, there is this rush. When it comes to the yellow tide season, there is this rush, and people tend to meet up some of the target, the needs that they are supposed to have achieved earlier before the Ember Month, that maybe this year, before the years runs out, I want to cover my plans on my calendar, I want to meet up my purposes and all that. That is why we have some of these rushes. For example, a driver on the highway, a commercial driver, you know, let me say the high price of fuel now. We all know how it is. We are all motorists and we are all road users. So some of them might have a target that, let me go on 2 or 3 tons, maybe I can get more money and all that. They will be rushing. And likewise, other people as well. They tend to want to speed up some of the things they want to achieve during this Ember Month. And since we know it is a tradition that when it comes to that Ember Month, people want to achieve a lot of things. So we try to high our focuses on more of sensitization, public education, that please take it easy. Like the theme for our Ember Month this year, say speed thrills, drive responsibly, and avoid overloading. One of the things that cause crashes on the highway, overspeeding, overloading. The FRC have their yearly strategic goals that guide us in our operations. And one of our strategic goals for this year says 15% reduction.
15%
reduction in road crashes is our target. So we work towards it. That is why you see our men on the highway, everybody. And if you observe very well, you see that we have more commands now. We have more commands, more outposts, more zebra units. In order to curb the high rate of crashes and in order to meet our 15% target according to our strategic goal. So in order to meet that, we need more commands, and that's why we have expanded. And I believe that this year, Ember operation, special operation, you will see more men on the way than before. you will see more of our activities are boosted up all the time due to researches that we make. And when the year runs out, we have department that goes on research to see some of the major causes of traffic on our highway.
I must say that's an interesting parade of issues, but a time there was, Officer
Yeah.
when you see FRC officers on the road, you know that some will say they will not listen to you. Just know that once you run into any infraction, you are in for it. No bribe, nothing. But these days there are allegations that even in the manifests where drivers now keep the thing, give your officers the manifest, and then the officer know what to do, and then all of that happens. What are you doing about that?
Anyway, the core frowns at such attitude.
But you are aware it happens.
We heard it happens. As for me, I've not seen.
But you heard it happens.
But anyone that is caught will be dealt with.
How many people have been caught?
I don't know, but
you've not seen any officer caught doing this?
I've not seen. I have not seen, but I've heard.
Then,
but
does that go to say that the FRC does not have a monitoring unit
they do
that monitors the operation of patrol teams?
Of course we do. We have, and they are working on it. They are working.
How incorruptible are the members of your monitoring team then, if you as a senior officer says you are not aware, you have not seen such infraction?
Because I have not seen anyone in my office here being arrested for that. Yeah.
Perhaps you need to look inward?
We are doing that, synthesize. Okay. Before they go on any operation in the morning, they have their prep, they are well sensitized.
Okay. Now, in Ondo State, there are areas that have been so notorious for traffic crashes. I give you one example. Ondo Road is becoming a very huge challenge. You agree with me? Accident upon accident recorded there. Is it difficult for FRC to have a kind of intervention, maybe interagency relationship with the Federal Ministry of Works or the FEMA, Federal Road Maintenance Agency, to look at how to remedy the condition of some of these roads?
The Federal Road Safety, our major work is on safety.
Of course.
And we are working on that in other agencies as well. Every agency has their roles and responsibility to pay. We play our roles, and it is left for other agencies to play their roles.
So when the agency is not playing its role, how do you undo that?
We still work together. You know, there are channels of protocols and
very well,
and process to we leave their own for them, and we do ours to cover their work. You can't expect road safety now to carry wheelbarrow.
I just want to know if it is impossible for FRC to make interventions. And interventions, I mean, meeting minds with the officials there to fix all of this.
They are doing that, and very soon you will see it.
Because I'm asking if that is not done, perhaps you're not tired of also carrying people to hospitals when these things happen. It could be a curling too. So
yeah, we are aware of that, and that is why we have our men around all the time. In case of crashes, we get here in time to rescue them and take them to the nearest hospital. And Ondo State is known to comply when it comes to this safety sensitization. I must give them kudos for that. Yeah.
What was the response type period?
Crashes?
Yes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
How well have you been able to maintain that?
We are doing that. If we are not doing that, the public will know we are not doing that. Yeah.
Now, there is something that came up yesterday, rather. The Minister of Health, look at as Mohammed Pate was talking about the challenge that many people who are responders to accident situations face, and that's the issue of getting victims to hospital, and then you find many hospitals asking you for police report before attending to such incident. Are you also a victim of such requirement? Or, I mean, when I say you, I mean your officers. Are they also victims, quote unquote, of such requirements? And how well do you handle such when there are victims you have to get to the hospitals?
Like I'll say, we have good relationship with stakeholders in Ondo State. And whenever we take victims to hospitals in Ondo State, they don't reject them.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't. Because it is an offense for them to reject them. They can be fined. The fine is huge. So they don't do that. We have good relationship with hospitals in Ondo State. So they respond to victims. Once it's our men that takes them there, they respond to them.
What's the relationship of the sector command with critical stakeholders in the traffic management, as it were? And by that I mean the drivers, the traffic wardens, and so on.
Our sector commander has good relationship with stakeholders in Ondo State. The drivers, RITIAN, NURTW, VIO, and any organization that has to do with road, traffic, and safety. He has good relationship.
How about with the Agency for Transportation in Ondo State?
Good relationship.
Are you still having issues with?
We don't have any problem with them.
Now, what has been the roles of special marshals in these whole activities of the FRSC, or are they just ceremonial?
No, the special marshal is the second arm of the road safety. The second arm, the road safety is the road safety has 3 tiers: the regular marshal, the special marshal, and the NYC Road Safety Club. And the special marshal has the same role like the regular marshal: traffic control, rescue operation, removing of obstructions on the way, anything that the regular does. They also do. The only difference between we and them is they are volunteers. They are not paid, and they are not paid, and they are not on uniform, but they have their regular, which you normally see the blue with the reflective stripes. So they have been doing their work as well. Sometimes you see them around the roadblock junction, controlling traffic, footer, and all that. They have been working very well. So we have good relationship with it because they are part of us as well.
Now, before I let you go, what are the plans to make the forthcoming Yuletide a better one in terms of road safety?
As you all know,
oh, you're waiting for December to come before you drop
we
your plan?
don't wait for December to come before we do our work. We are always working, and we'll continue working, and we work more, we work harder to achieve.
So what are the plans you have to make that work?
Deployment of men on the highway, more sensitization to the least marketplace, like I said, schools, churches, jingles, every available media we can use to reach our people, to the farmland, wherever they are, that this year, don't overspeed, speed thrills, drive responsible, do not drink and drive, no use of phone calls while driving, and lots more. All the safety tips, we let them know, so that we can all have a good year of celebration together.
Well, maybe fortunately or unfortunately, depending on where one faces, this year seems to be very peculiar and different. You find the rain still falling up to now, and that brings to the fact that you're not driving under too stringent conditions if you have to drive at night and it's still raining. What's your piece of advice to drivers under such special conditions?
Drivers under such condition should make sure they have good wipers, good headlamps, their windscreen is properly clean and neat, and then they should avoid night driving. It is not good, because when you drive at night, you overstress yourself. Try as much as possible, even though even the night comes when you are driving, drive safely. Use your seat belts, and then don't drink and drive. Be safety cautious. Make sure you have your spare tires. You have all the necessary requirements you need to have in case you have a deflation of tire, your jet, your fire extinguisher. Make sure you have it. Every necessary gadget you need to have in your vehicle when you are driving at night, because when your vehicle breaks down, it's difficult to have somebody to help you. So you must be safety cautious.
Well, I hope that before the next time you'll be coming, I hope you will have been able to track the issue of allegations that some of your men do have something put inside their manifest, and then they will have been dealt with.
About that.
I do hope you'll find out. You also have a unit that can investigate such, I understand. So I think you should work on that. So
we do that.
Thank you very much, Officer Folashade Omokoro, in charge of social duties and external relations. Thank you so much for coming.
It's nice being here with you.
Everyone, thank you so much for being part of State of the State today. It's been an interesting time taking a closer look at security of lives and property and also on our road. I thank you for joining me. Next week is another time. I am Sunday Kolawole. Please enjoy the rest of the day.